Morning, everyone. So, about 10 to 7 now. But he seemed to be sleeping really good in the van. I was awake early, but I was awake about 5:30, I think it was. 5:30 anyway. But, went to sleep. I don't know why, but I don't sleep that well at home. And I even had all the vents open last night, so there's vents up there that are open too. So maybe it's the fresh air. Who knows? Got my coffee going, wherever it is. Here it is. So that's alright, we'll have a coffee, do the morning shower, and then my plans today are, there's a place not so far from here where I'm staying. It's called the Mildura homestead. I've driven past that quite a few times. Looks really good. Looks pretty cool. So I'm going to go up there and have a look around for a while. And then I might head into town and have a walk around. I sort of really haven't walked around town at all, apart from just going to the supermarket and having lunch one day at a pub. But I might go in there and have a walk around. There seemed to be a bit more activity in there yesterday, being a weekday, than what the other days it was a weekend, so it was pretty quiet. So that's my plans for today, and then yeah, that'll take up some of the day, but who knows what'll happen. We'll find something to do, so we'll check back in later on. After this coffee, I'm gonna do a nice egg and bacon toasted sandwich on the barbecue, I think, on the little Weber. So that should be good. Something to look forward to this morning. Nice runny egg toasted sandwich. Can't go wrong. Alright, so just finished my coffee. Sitting now, flicking through Facebook, having a look at some of the pictures on some of the camping pages that I'm on. What I don't get is why do people put a little circle of rocks to put their fire in? Do they think the fire doesn't burn outside the rocks? Like, do they think it stops it? I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. If anyone can tell me why, like legitimately, stick it in the comments. Alright, brekkie time. So, bit of bacon and eggs, cooked tomato, use up the last of my tomato before I go into South Australia. Toast me roll. Got these rolls from Coles yesterday. They're banh mi rolls, but we'll toast that up on the Weber. We'll get that egg on shortly. Nice runny yolk. Can't go wrong. Alright, come through a drive down to Redcliffs to just have a look at Big Lizzie, which I remember as a kid when we used to come up here, we always stopped here. I don't know why kids were able to climb around on it, I guess, but yeah, just come down for a look. Something to do. It's only about 15-minute drive out of Mildura, so yeah, come down to see Big Lizzie. So, just been having a read here about Big Lizzie. It's an interesting story. So, this is the guy that made it, Frank Bottrell. But it was actually made in Richmond, Victoria, at took him 12 months to make it, and then it took him over 12 months to bring it up here to Mildura. So with all sorts of problems along the way, crossing bridges, they wouldn't let him cross because the bridges were going to collapse because it weighed too much, and rivers got flooded, so then he got stopped by that. They had to find other places to cross, and so they'd have to clear the river of snags so it could cross through the river. So, but they never gave up, and then it was used. So after a couple of years, it still hadn't earned any money. So then he decided to stop in Mildura and earn some money. So he started carting wheat, and his first thing of wheat was, I think I read somewhere, it was 75 tonne in one hit. So one wheat farmer's whole crop he carted in one hit. And then after that, when the war finished, they used it to clear land because it was so powerful. They used it to clear all the scrub so they could build a settlement for the soldiers. So, and then it ended up down in Glendenning, I think back in Victoria, it just got left there in a paddock to rust away, and then eventually they bought it back. They bought it, so they'd been trying to buy it back from what I read, and then eventually the person sold it. So they negotiated a price, $1,250 they bought it back for. The local services and Apex Lions and Rotary clubs. So they bought it back and then restored it. So quite an interesting, quite interesting. Well, maybe for some, not for all, but I find that pretty interesting. But yeah, it could cart all sorts of weight. Well, but yeah, didn't know it was built in Richmond. But initially, once it was built, he was on his way to Broken Hill. That's where it was. That was where he was on his way. I don't even know if it ever got to Broken Hill because it done a lot of work here in Mildura. Yeah, quite interesting. Alright, so I just come for a drive. When I was leaving Big Lizzie, I seen a sign say Redcliffe Lookout, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll go down there for a look. Why not? So come for a drive down, and like there's either paddocks with grapevines absolutely everywhere, or the paddocks are just desolate, like just nothing. So it's like, I don't know if barren's the word, because have a look, it's not barren, but stuff grows, but it's just, I don't know. But driving in, there's just paddocks of nothing. So we'll go for a walk we'll go and see what this lookout is. All right. So just come up to the lookout. I think I discovered why it's called Redcliffs. It's nice and peaceful. Seen a few people on mountain bikes riding around. I don't know if you can see in there, there's a houseboat coming. But you can see over there the Red Cliffs, which is, we've got another houseboat over there. and more of the red cliffs over there. Alright, we'll head back now into Mildura. I might go and have a look at the Mildura homestead now. Alright, so I decided to go back to the van, have some lunch, boiled up a couple of hot dogs. They were alright, and here we are now. We're at the Mildura homestead, so we'll show you around here. So it's a pretty cool area, like the old homestead up there, and I'm tipping that's an old thunderbox. I'm tipping. Haven't been over there to have a look, but it's old windmill. Oh yeah, so this looks like the old crap house. Okay. Looks like someone's been using it recently. There's a bit of dummy paper there. Jesus, it's a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to have a look in. But I don't know what this building is. No, what's this sign say? Oh, it says it's the cottage, dedicated to the old Mildura homestead. You can pause that and read it if you want to. It's a cool area. Over here, I'm tipping this is the wool shed. We'll go over and have a look at the wool shed and see what's over there. So this must be the old wool shed. Some of the old machinery or wool presses. A bit of wool in there. It's actually well preserved. Nice little fireplace. That's magnificent. I love this old stuff. An old piano up here in the corner. I don't know why you'd have a piano in the wool shed, but anyway. What's in here? Toilets. Yeah, cool old building. And then over here, I don't know what we've got over here, but there's... Jeez, that looks like an old lathe. Jeez, that's massive. Engineers London. Jeez. What else we got going on? Oh, this must be an old blacksmith shop. Okay. Wow. Some old horse-drawn carts. So this must be the old stables, I'm tipping. So, the old horse stuff. Jeez. else we got in here? Like the old steel part of a wagon wheel. Jeez. These horse things that go around their neck or shoulders are all filled with straw. Pretty cool. And then over here, not quite sure what this building is. I love these old horse troughs. Let's have a look at this building. Yeah, there's like a, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a replica of the homestead, like a miniature. You probably won't be able to see it there either, but there's a replica of the old homestead. Yeah, but pretty cool. Yeah, nice little area to come down. They got barbecues and stuff, so you could come down and have a picnic or something if you wanted. Barbie, picnic. Yeah, nice area. Right by the river. I like the way these places are all preserved. Couldn't do this in Melbourne because the thugs would just destroy it. Yeah, this is kept in pretty good nick. Like I haven't really seen graffiti or anything here, so it's pretty cool. Well, that's about it for today's episode. I've shown you most stuff around Mildura. I think it's a beautiful town. A little bit of history, like my family background, which is okay. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm looking for sponsors so I can travel full time and show you some more of this amazing content that I make. That's being sarcastic, by the way. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.